Welcome, story lovers, to Misty Fables. Get ready to journey into worlds you've only dreamed of. So, sit back, relax, and listen to the tales as we breathe life into stories.
The Mime. George walked onto the pier and glanced around. Across the way stood a mime, leaning in front of his box of props. George grinned and strolled toward him. Over the past few days, he'd been harassing the mime in any way he could. The first day, he'd run over and kicked his box. He was disappointed it was empty. The second day, he'd brought a squirt gun and emptied it onto the mime multiple times. A drinking fountain was nearby for refills. On the third day, the teen brought a slingshot, along with 2 pockets brimming with rocks. He belted the mime over and over, first the body, then the crotch, and eventually even the face. Despite the kid's multiple assaults, the mime had stayed in character, not making a sound. But after George hit his groin, the mime's act consisted of one move, a stone-faced glare in his direction. George wouldn't have admitted it, but the unwavering blackness of the mime's eyes unsettled him. The last 2 rocks he'd shot at the man hit him in the cheek and forehead, drawing blood. He didn't flinch. Today was the 4th day, and George had left his unease at home. Today he planned to steal the mime's box and put an early end to his stupid charade. He walked casually at first, but once he got close, he ran and grabbed the box by the handle. As soon as he attempted to run off with it, the box wouldn't budge. It was a cheap and raggedy cardboard, but in his fingers it was as unyielding as stone. The mime knelt down beside him and made a gesture around his wrists. George snickered, but then the ratchet of handcuffs reached his ears. He looked down, saw nothing. He released the box and tried to pull away. He couldn't. The mime smiled loudly and jokingly bobbed his head while pointing to the boy's wrists. George screamed, but it was deafeningly silent. The mime's eyebrows raised and he smirked. He held a long and dirt-crusted finger up to his lips. The teen boy frantically struggled against the invisible binds and shouted to no avail. Several amused spectators gawked and chuckled at the boy's passable performance. The mime watched as well, playing into the crowd's bemusement. He held up a hand in a wait-and-see gesture and the crowd quieted, gathering closer. With great effort, the mime hefted the massively empty cardboard box and placed it onto the pier banister. George still pleaded to the growing audience as he desperately worked to free himself from the accursed anchor. The mime wiped the sweat from his brow and motioned for a small woman to assist him. With great glee and little effort, the woman pushed at the box and it teetered and fell from the railing, pulling George along with it. With an oddly silent plunk, the box and George plunged into the dark and calm waters below. The crowd cheered raucously.